Is he also? Oh, I didn't see it.
Yeah.
So last time I was like, I'm on 10 o'clock on. I'm not on that.
Oh, okay. I just remembered there.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, one of the guys, he was excited to, he's been out on some days, maybe on stream, maybe just looking at the same.
Hey, Max over hearing these. Okay, let's call the meeting to order. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for coming. Nice turnout. Okay. Public input. So we've got a lot of people here. Do any of you have any input? Okay, you're just here to watch the show. Hold on to your seat, it's going to be exciting. All right, the first thing on the agenda is approval of meeting minutes from 6/3/25. I've gone over them, I'm satisfied with them.
Satisfied?
Rich, any
Yeah.
comments?
Yeah, my changes are in.
Yes,
I see.
I got it.
All right, so I'll accept the motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for June 3rd, 2025.
I'll second.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda for old business is the trustee transfer form. That's the form that was put forth to track funds that are being transferred from the trust fund into the general fund and vice versa. So we had a few comments at the last time we talked about it. It looks like those comments have been incorporated into the form. Joanne, I know you've had a chance to look at it. Are you satisfied with it now? Awesome.
Yep.
Rich?
Second.
No, I need a motion first.
You need the motion.
Okay, I'll make the motion that we accept the trustee transfer form. Let's see if I make a motion that we accept the authorization for deposit to or withdrawal from the trust fund form that was submitted by the trustees of the trust fund.
I will second.
Any other discussion?
Yes.
What do you got?
Number D. Is that what we had before?
This was one of the,
Request for deposit withdrawal for funds from the Common Expendable Trust Fund.
this was one of the things I think we asked them to correct.
It's the last phrase, and the Park Committee Fund. Is the Park Committee Fund correct?
Yes. Yes, there is a fund. At the last trustees meeting, they identified that fund.
And who are the authorized people to take money out?
Anybody that wants to use it, see, that's under the full control of the trustee committee. It's not anything that was all private money. There were no public funds in that line item.
Private money is listed above. Park Committee Fund, the Park Committee Fund, is that a trust fund?
Yes. It was privately funded. It was generated around 2012.
Yes, there is one. Okay, So you're assuring me
I know, so.
that the selectmen are not sufficient on that?
Yes. Sue, you here, will you support what I'm?
Yeah, Susan Weisky, yes, this is under the auspices of the trustees of the trust funds. It's a private fund. It's been identified as a private fund. So monies in or out are handled by the trustees, not the selectmen or any other committee of the town.
Okay?
All right, satisfied? Any other discussion?
Nope.
You're all set? All right, I'll accept the motion to accept the, oh, I made the motion, I'm sorry.
You have a motion and a second.
Yes, I do, and a second. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, Susan.
Yes. Little formality here. My name is Susan Weisky. I'm one of the 3 trustees of the trust fund. And one of the tasks we have is to make an award each year from the Scholastic Achievement Award Fund. And this award was established in 1996 and is entirely funded by private donations and memorial gifts. It's my great pleasure to be here this evening and make this year's award to a Brookfield resident, graduating senior with the highest grade point average. And we have a recipient who is not only a wonderful student, but we are told is a wonderful young man. I'd like to recognize Liam Moore. Please. This is for you. It is $1,500. Well, congratulations. My pleasure.
Congratulations, Liam.
Yeah. I'll let Liam tell us what his future holds. Nothing but good, I'm sure, but where are you heading?
NC State,
Very nice.
so out of Raleigh, North Carolina.
Wonderful, very good. You have plans for a major?
Yeah, engineering is what I'm going to, but I plan on computer engineering or electrical engineering.
Ah, excellent, excellent. Congratulations
Thank you.
again, wonderful.
Thank you, Susan.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Could I add one comment? So when Liam was in junior high school, may I add a comment? When Liam was in junior high school, he had a project, and he had to learn the history of the town. And so I took him around and showed him all of our stuff. We met for a long time, gave him lots of the history, and he ended up doing a project on the history of our town. And he did a great job. It was just a wonderful experience to work with him on it. So he's always shown an interest in our town. Thank you.
Okay, next item on the agenda are flags. The 2 flags that we have displayed out front are quite weather worn. One is the U.S. flag, and the other is the New Hampshire state flag. And I think they need to be replaced. Leah, I know we looked at some figures on that the other day. There was a pamphlet or something that we got in.
I didn't take it from you, you probably still have it.
Okay, all right, it must be in the thing. But from what I looked at, a 3x5 flag, which is what we have out there for the U.S., was roughly $60. Probably shipping and handling would be added to that. State flag was a little bit less than that. So I think what I'd like to do is make a motion to authorize Leah to purchase a couple of flags, 1 U.S. flag, 1 state flag, and not to exceed $150, and see what we can get for it. And if it's not enough, then bring it back later and ask for more.
You looked at the American flag, because we just replaced that.
The
Did you look at it? Yeah, did you look at it?
Yeah.
It needs it, if it needs it, it needs it, but that's a bit 2 years old at
Is
most.
that right? Maybe that's what you get when you buy the cheap flags too. But it does look quite well. All right, so I'll make a motion that we authorize Leah to spend up to $150 for a US flag and a state flag for the display in front of the townhouse.
Is that total?
Total.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion's made and seconded. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the Hackett site mowing. Thank you very much for coming. And,
Congratulations.
Liam, don't forget us, bud. We happen to have Mr. Savasik here. Bob, would you like to talk about the Hackett site mowing? I know I'm blindsiding you about it, but I know you know more about what's going on down there than anybody else in town. So.
Well, I wasn't ready for this, but let me see.
I'm sorry about the
Well,
blindside.
that's all right. Of course, this time of year is not the time to be pulling weeds and cutting bushes and things like that. So what we've done is we've kind of set aside any, we have two sites that we still need to uncover, the small stable and the large barn. But we're into tick season, fly season, and it's starting to get hot. So it's still on our radar to actually clear these sites. But to date, we have the cellar hole where the house stood. I guess about 2 weeks ago, Corey Pike came down and cleared completely around. Our concern was what was going to happen this spring, because we had cut it down last fall, but we didn't know what was going to happen with the new growth. We have a lot of new growth, but it's fresh growth. It's not the real thick, viney, woody stuff, so Corey was able to actually weed whack the whole thing. So the cellar hole is in the best shape visually than it's ever been. The other thing he did is he actually cleared the foundation where the store stood, or still stands. And you know, that we have cleared. We have 2 wells that the site used to draw water. They're cleared. But to me, I think the gem, the diamond in the rough, is the graveyard. And it's clear. All the graves are in pristine condition. Colonel Hackett has the American flag and the state flag on his grave. And I guess it was probably 6 weeks ago, 4 to 6 weeks ago, we finally put a sign up at the gravesite. First time in 223 years that the graveyard actually has a sign. What I'm working on now is, you've seen these plastic baskets or holders that usually you can put pamphlets in, trifolds or what have you. I'm working on a trifold. Is what I want to do is actually when someone approaches the graveyard, instead of just looking at a blank graveyard with stones, I want them to be able to take a trifold. There'll be a map of each grave, and on the other side of the trifold will be a little snippet of each grave and who's actually in the grave, and talk about it. So instead of standing there and looking at basically just tombstones or what have you, you'll be able to stand there, sort of a self-guided tour, and so that's being worked on. We do have some minor conditions with the road, or Governor's Road, but I think we need to wait because we're jumping a little bit because it's still wet and stuff like that. Hiking-wise, it's terrific. I mean, I just hope that Jeremy eventually gets to his trails and stuff like that. But, you know, I saw a year and a half ago that the town really has something to be proud of. So we're moving forward. It's just right now it's a bad time of year, and so all things are good at the site. Thank you.
Thank you. And in talking to Corey, he said that he would do the site for $200, and the Conservation Commission agreed at their last meeting to provide the funds for that for this year. Given that we didn't know what was coming at us, we didn't budget for it, so there really isn't money in our budget, but the Conservation Commission says they would pick it up.
I'm sorry, did you say 250 or 200?
Pardon? 200.
Thank you.
And that was, what we're gonna do is talk to Corey again and ask him about picking up the interior of the graveyard as well. So he's doing the cellar hole and then the little general store beside it, and then we're gonna ask him to pick up the graveyard too. The Conservation Commission will, they assumed that was gonna be in it already, so we'll have to talk to them to make sure they're okay with the money for that.
Let me just, I neglected one thing is, we're, in talking to Frank Frazier, is we're still, the plan is to actually, we're going to have the large kiosk at the site. Mary Lou and I, this is where the most important, the story of James Hackett is going to be told. But we're also going to put a smaller kiosk. We'd like to mount one out there at the intersection of Old Governor's Road and Lyford Road. If you've been past there lately, what I've done is I've completely cleared the front of Lyford Road and Old Governor's Road. And I think right now we could probably get 5 or 6 cars in there. But just a story is one day I was cleaning the site, and a car pulled in, and a couple got out of the car, a man, a woman, and he had a dog. And they saw me, and they came over to me, and they said, "Can you hike this?" And I said, "Sure." I said, walk about 7/10 of a mile back, and I gave him the 5 minutes of basic talk on James Hackett. And but the thing is, I stood there, and as I watched them leave and walk down this trail, I thought to myself, this is what this is about, is these people. But what we're missing is something that will draw the people in, to pull them in, and that's this kiosk that Ed and I will talk with Frank. So I just want to add that we're still, even though nothing's been said, hear nothing, things are really active at the site. So that's all. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
I've got a comment.
Yeah.
When we bought the land a number of years ago, we really thought it was going to remain as a wildlife area. And it's interesting that you're finding all this historical information, but we're starting to spend money. And I think it would be wise, if we're going to start to spend money, that we have a plan in front of the town as to what we're going to accomplish and how much money it's going to cost the town. Because we could be going down the same path as a building next door where we want to preserve it. We've got a plan of what we have to do there. We're working the plan, but we don't have the plan for the town land. So I think before we spend a lot of money, we lay out a plan. Where's this going? Play it by the town. If they want to fund it, so be it. But right now we're spending money without an overall plan. We know what the next project is. What's the plan?
But we really haven't spent any money either.
Well,
It's all been volunteer work.
You just told me the conservation team is spending money.
They're willing to. They haven't spent anything
Well,
yet.
then I would make a motion that we don't spend any money. If they haven't spent money, then I'd make a recommendation that we don't spend money until we understand where we're going.
Okay.
I think what you need to do.
You want to?
Okay, shut up.
See, the other feedback we get, other feedback we get is people can't get there. You have to walk in there, and a lot of people in town can't walk in there. So we're spending money on something that people can enjoy or appreciate. Yes, there's a group of people that can, there's another group of people that can't. So they say, why are we doing this? We can't enjoy it. Now, if the plan is improve the road so they can drive in, so be it. But what's the plan?
The road's already, they can drive in all the way to the site. That is passable.
Okay?
Now that we've
Right,
done the
have you
clearing,
ever
we
been to
want
the
to
site?
mow.
That's a result.
Have
of-
you ever been to the site recently? Recently? Like within the last, say, 4 or 5 months? Do you even know what's down there? Have you ever seen what's down there? Do you understand what's down there? Do you? I understand the money part, but have you been there? Have you walked there? Do you feel that thing down there?
I'm not here to answer these questions. Thank you for your
Why
comments.
not? I'm just asking you, have you been there?
All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the next item. And that's the Wakefield Police Department new hire. Okay, we have a document here from the Wakefield Police Department to the town of Brookfield. They want us to sign off, allowing a new hired police officer, full-time, so that he can patrol in Brookfield as well as Wakefield. And let me see where the name is. Oh, here it is. Joshua Kuntz, Wolfboro, New Hampshire.
Can
How do
you
you spell
spell
his
the
last
last?
name?
Is it K-U-N?
K-U-N-Z, Kuntz.
And what's the title of that document?
It says Wakefield Police Department, Town of Brookfield. It really doesn't have a title on it. It says Wakefield Police Department, Town of Brookfield, to Joshua Kuntz of Wolfboro, whereas there is a vacancy in the office of the police officer.
It authorizes, we're authorizing the Wakefield Police Department to have this individual patrol Brookfield roads, so it's a letter.
So it's a notification.
And we're responding with a letter authorizing him to patrol.
Whenever they bring a new hire in, they send us these letters saying it's good.
I understand, I just thought there was a title to it.
Okay. So I will make a motion that we authorize the Wakefield Police Department to authorize Joshua Kuntz to patrol in Brookfield.
Oh, I'll second it.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. All right, website hosting. Should have in your packet the breakdown that Leah gave us, showing 1, 2, 3.
A total of 5 if
Five.
you include Civic Plus. So I guess my question for you is, because all of these companies do offer demonstrations and things, do you want me to set those up, or how do you want to go about evaluating them?
I'm thinking we need to have some kind of a subcommittee for looking at these and making a recommendation back to us. What are your thoughts? What do you think? I mean, I personally don't know enough about
Yeah, I don't either.
websites to be able to do it. So if we can get some savvy people in town to do this and bring back a recommendation to us, I think it would be, of course, one of us would have to sit in on that committee as well. So let me make a plea right now to anybody that is watching, we'll put it into the notes too, that we're looking for 3 to 5 volunteers to step forward that are information technology savvy, that can help us evaluate these proposals for a new website for the town of
Oh.
Brookfield.
Post the plea too. I just refound the note that you asked me to do that, so. yeah.
Okay, good. All right, so let's do that. This gives us something to chew on for the next couple of weeks, and we'll bring it back to the next meeting and see if we can get some volunteers. So anybody knows anybody, ask them to contact us or Leah, and we'll get that started. Is there anything specific about this, Leah, that you wanted to bring our attention to at this time? or-
As far as other towns go, it seems like they really like Town Web. Personally, I like the sound of EvoGov or the Gov sites. Gov sites, it looks like they have
a package, I don't know the price of the package, but they do have a package that basically a website manager comes with it, so they would do all the posting and whatever for us. I'm sure that comes at an extra cost, though,
Yeah, that's why you don't know the price. They didn't want to say it.
pretty much.
Okay. All right, thank you. Okay, we then have townhouse reservation request. Data request came in on 6/13. And it's for Karen Sabasic, BWS. And this is for the yoga classes, correct? For the next 10 weeks. And it would carry the
It's
dates on
starting in
it.
September to
Oh,
November.
there it is, September 4th through December 5th. They've been doing, this will be the third time, Karen, or fourth? Fourth time? And there have been no issues. We haven't seen any problems. Haven't had any problems with it. So I will accept the motion to authorize their use of the townhouse.
Thursday morning?
It's Thursday mornings, 9 to 11:15 a.m.
I will make a motion to allow Karen to use the townhouse.
Okay. Do we have a second?
And we're charging a fee?
Have we done that? Did we charge them in the past? It was a flat 100 for the whole time period, right? Yeah. So it'll be the same fee.
I'll second it with the fee.
Okay. Any other discussion? All right, I'm going to put fee waived, I'm going to circle no, and I'm going to put an amount of $100. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item, application for use of municipal resources. Okay, this one is for,
So that's for Lois Hall, because she's had to postpone so many times. She's found a few extra items in her house and is now requesting a few more tables and some chairs so her helpers have somewhere to sit.
she's the one that, she's looking for 8 tables and 6 chairs. This is already signed. What is it? Looks like she took a photocopy of the last one. Oh, never mind. This is the form signatures. Okay.
Does it say when it is?
It's for this weekend, so the 21st and 22nd. You read my mind.
Yes.
Is it supposed to rain? Probably.
Probably, the way things have been going.
Yeah, why wouldn't it?
So what I'm looking at is, maybe we have to put it on the form. When is it going to be picked up? We know who's going to pick it up.
Yeah.
How do we make arrangements to make sure they can get it at the correct time?
Ed, if I may speak,
Yes.
I'm aware of the proposal, and I am ready to pick the tables up Friday.
Okay.
And it's 6 chairs, I believe, 5 or 6
Yes.
chairs.
Yeah.
And actually, if approved, I will see that these tables and chairs are taken to her on Friday. I will speak to her, and I'll personally bring the tables and chairs back to the townhouse on Sunday when it's over.
But your point's well taken.
Yeah, it's
The
not-
form should say to be picked up on and then returned on.
And just so we know when we have to have that room, that building available.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's something we should change in the form.
And Bob, you'll take care of getting.
I'll take
this
both
one?
sides, both ends, I'll take care of it.
Do you want it to say who's picking it up, or that doesn't matter so much, just as long as we know when and...
Yeah, the who was gonna be the person that applied,
Okay.
sent in the application. If they wanted to say, Bob, go pick them up for me, they can do that, but it's gonna be that person is responsible
So
for.
it'd be good to know when they're gonna get them, and when they're gonna drop them off.
Yep.
Oh, well, you know what? It's on there.
No, it just says who's gonna pick it up.
Requested dates and times to pick up. They didn't fill it out properly, that's what it is.
I will look
It
at it and
does-
see if I can make it more clear.
No,
It's pretty clear.
The form is okay. The
Okay.
form is okay, but they should have they put in Bob and Karen's name. What she should have done is put in the dates,
Gotcha.
right? And if they could have anybody pick them up, but it's that person's
So
house.
Rick, why don't you pencil in? Friday, you said?
What is?
Um,
What is?
Yeah, the plan is to actually pick the tables up
20.
between 9 and 9:30. My thought is to take them down there at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And
On Friday.
on Friday, and help her if she needs, help her set up for the yard sale Saturday and Sunday, and then I'll know when she's done. So I'm guessing sometime Sunday evening, I will pick the tables up, the chairs, and I will personally bring them back and put them in the townhouse.
I'm gonna go with Monday just in case.
Yeah, that's right.
everyone's
And
late.
the other thing is I will physically inspect the tables and the chairs for any possible damage, just to make sure they're returned,
So some are dinged now when you.
Yeah, I think there's one that's in, what do we have, 9 tables, I believe? There is one that has a sort of a bad leg, and that one I'm just gonna set it, I won't take the one.
And there's some with cracked tops.
Yeah, so I'll look at it and make sure everything's okay.
Okay. Okay. So, did,
No issue opening the building, you have a key, right, Karen? So there's not an issue with getting in and getting out. That's why we want the date and time.
okay, did I get a motion on this one?
No.
All right, so I'm waiting on a motion to allow Lois Hall to use 8 tables and 6 chairs, beginning on 6/20 and bringing them back on 6/23.
So moved.
Seconded?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, planning board flow chart. Leah, do you want to talk to us a little bit?
So Marshall Goldberg created this in hopes of kind of clarifying the application process. The thought being this would go near the front of our rules of procedure on the planning board, so that this is one of the first things people see when they try to figure out which application they need, who they need to go to for it, etc. Wow.
This may not be the correct version. He was looking for the one that had BOS on the front page. This is the one we were working at the planning board meeting for rules of procedure. There's another one. BOS.
Yeah, with more words?
No, with cascading into three
I'll have
areas.
to look, I don't.
This is the rules of procedure for the planning board.
Yes. This is the flow chart he made. I swear he did. I'll find the second one. So table that for now, I guess.
Yeah, I think we should table this until we square that away.
Yeah, my thought on it when I looked at it was that it's not
us.
Well, I understand, but it's also not putting the burden of the applicant to do the homework to find out what it is they gotta do.
That's why.
Somebody's telling them what.
That's why it was he tried to distill it down.
Yeah. Okay. So, this is actually for the planning board, this is an FYI for us, then?
I guess.
I mean, there's no action on it.
No. The idea was that's gonna go on the planning board website.
Yeah. Okay.
But there's an equivalent, I believe, that we want to put on the selectments. And the thrust of it says, if you want to know what if it's not clear what you want to do in town, start by coming to the board of selectmen, a meeting, and asking and telling. And then we will route you to the correct department or make a judgment.
Isn't that what this page says, though?
That's subdivision.
It says rules of procedure pre-application, select board. And then you go to the different, I'm drawing the flow charts, I'm sorry.
Okay, we'll come back to that.
Okay.
Did I just not staple it in the right order?
Yeah, I think so, because you got code enforcement on the front. So what you're saying, if you go to the back page,
It should say BOS.
it does, oh, select board.
Yeah, they're all in different order, I guess.
Board of Selectmen, says select board.
And that's supposed to be page 1.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it probably was when I printed.
Yeah, it's not paginated.
And what it, I lost my copy.
Oh.
Yes, that's it. Always come to the Board of Selectmen. And then, yes, they're out of sequence. That's page 1, that's page 2,
And then this would be page 3, code enforcement.
or
Yeah.
what's it behind that? That's what planning board is. There's 2 pages here.
Oh,
There should be one for the planning board.
How many pages? You know, just the
Just
two?
two. Just the two.
One's double sided and the other one's single sided.
Yeah.
So, the first page is in the back.
Yours doesn't have code enforcement.
You want to take a look at it
I
again?
screwed all these papers up. This is the right thing, just in the wrong order, and I,
Okay, all right, so let's put on the agenda for next week, if you
Yeah.
want some more, the next meeting. Okay, regular business. All right, let's go through some departments. Let's see, who do we have here? Okay, Leah.
I don't have much, just John Rich came in, took all the hard drives out of all the computers we were hoping to get rid of, so there's nothing to worry about there. They're ready to recycle. Everything that's back there that can be recycled has sticky notes on it that says recycle me or trash me.
Okay,
So everything's ready to go.
I'll pick them up tomorrow.
I think there's 6 or 8 desktops and 2 or 3 laptops and 2 printers.
Where are they going to Wakefield?
No, there's a recycling center in
Portsmouth is a
Portsmouth.
specialty place that'll
They
take
do
it.
it.
It'll be, the girl said roughly $25.
And Wakefield will charge us?
I
I
don't
don't
know.
If they ask 25?
Costs $25. This is the place John Rich told us to go, so that's where I called.
Really?
Staples will take everything but displays free.
Oh,
Okay, good to know.
all right.
And they do charge for taking like a display, but they don't, it's like your $25. But everything else is free, so why not start there?
Are there any monitors in that batch?
I could have sworn there was one, but there's only one.
Okay.
Certainly no harm in keeping one extra monitor if you
Right.
don't want to pay anything.
No, well, I'll pick them all up tomorrow and I'll stop at Wakefield first, and if there's no fee, I'll dump them at Wakefield.
They were going to charge us in the past,
Okay.
The town?
the town. Yes, I went and discussed it with them, and they were adamant that they would charge us.
Isn't it like a couple dollars? It's small.
You know, at the time it wasn't, so that's why.
I'm confused, I thought you said they're taking for free, and now you're saying you're gonna
No,
charge.
No, Staples takes it for
Staples.
free.
Staples takes them
Oh,
for free.
Staples, I thought you said the town.
No,
Oh,
Mary Lou said she went to Wakefield in the past and they charged us.
yeah, yeah. All right, I'll stop at Staples and this last host enforcement, see if I'll take it on.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
is the data on the, or was the data on all of the hard drives properly backed up and retained or wiped before it's being
I do not know the answer to that question.
John Rich has all the hard drives. He's going through them to see if there's anything we need to retain on them. Anything we don't need is being properly wiped. But he's taking care of it. Everything that's back there has no data whatsoever.
Everything back there doesn't have any data.
Right, there's no hard drives in it. It's all just shells.
Well, I would just suggest we have a records retention committee. If we don't have a policy on how to dispose of hard drives, we should.
That was one of the policies John Rich was supposed to give me a year ago. And
Because
still hasn't.
all I'm hearing is that, I think you know what I'm leading to. You have hard drives that have data on it. I don't know if it was backed up. You don't have a policy to cover that, and somebody else has the hard drives. And nobody's really looked at what's on them. That's all I'm saying. Do you understand where I'm
Yeah,
going?
we still have possession of the hard drives.
Okay.
They haven't gone anywhere, they won't go anywhere until we can answer that question.
Okay.
They are still our hard drives. He just has them for now.
Okay, I'll pick them up tomorrow and head to Staples. All right, Jan.
Okay, quick on the library, it's the 100-year anniversary, so we'll celebrate that in August, but Art of Agathony starts today and runs through August. There'll be some receptions, but on Saturday there is one for all the artists, a bunch of whom come from Brookfield. So if anyone wants to stop in for snacks and to look at the art show, it's on Saturday from 2 to 4. So I have a couple other updates. This is a general one. I asked Rich about doing some volunteering and just cleaning up the flower beds around the townhouse. And he told me, I'm going to get this back because I read this, that we're supposed to have a volunteer policy. And that really relates to volunteering for the website, volunteering on heritage, volunteering on preservation. So I didn't see anything like it, so I drafted one with AI, just for your consideration. And
that was based on input you got from this?
from this, yes,
document?
and I will send it to you, Leah, as a soft copy.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's that. Let's see, heritage. So we completed the painting at the townhouse. The final invoice was paid, the key was returned. When she cleaned the front of this offices, she said we should probably spray some bug spray, to sort of keep the bugs
It's on
down.
Brad's list.
Yeah, I mean, I don't personally love that, but if we have a handy person, sometimes just taking a broom and, getting the cops out when they appear, I think that's a possible solve. This notebook is intended to be here, but this is maintenance, repair, renovations from 1823 to 2025 for all of the town properties. This is something that Mary Lou, Craig, and I put together so that when we want to figure out when was the last time we redid the roof, you can go in, and by the way, it was 10 years ago. So you can go back and look at the basic information. If we could identify the vendors and the cost, we did that. And then if you want to get anything further or deeper, they're all in the archives. But that gives you some basic information.
Everything here is already archived. This will be for display.
This is for display, yeah. And then we'll just have to figure out, I kind of listen at meetings when you say, oh, someone's going to do mowing up the town preserve, then we just kind of add that stuff in there. I'll put it on a thumb drive and just tuck it in there, but yeah, Rich.
Who updates this?
That's what, we have been updating it all along. And as I hear information, I update it on my laptop. And then I bring it in, but I will send it to Leah as well. While we're on Heritage, I think Heritage owns it, so to speak, so we can keep it updated. So Leah tells me, like, what is it, the oil propane company?
White Mountain.
White Mountain, when they came and checked the furnaces, she emails me, tells me, and I add it to it.
They came twice.
Yes, you have
Yes,
that.
I have that.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't have all, sometimes we can't find out what the cost was, but we've captured as much information as we have. So I think even when it comes to bill paying, we could collaborate with John.
Excellent, excellent. Excellent,
Yeah,
excellent.
so, okay, so that's the first one. The RFP you have for the re-shingling, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it because we're going to review it tomorrow evening. I've given you the packet, the 3 blind proposals, and the 3 data sheets for the type of shingles that they're recommending.
I've gone as far as the first page. Can I
Yes,
ask
exactly.
2 quick questions?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Are they going to strip the shingles?
Yes, and they will take care of all the debris
So the shingles will be taken off?
taken off. And that's when they will assess the plywood and the sheathing underneath it. And that's the part that we don't know because they don't know that yet. So under each vendor, you can see they've listed either a man-hour cost or a materials cost and a wet charge cost.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's the part, that's the unknown.
So when it was shingled the last time,
Yes.
it's not plywood sheathing, it's old rough-cut pine,
Oh, okay.
and it's wavy.
Yes, it is wavy. and
Not
it's-
because it's rotten, just because
No,
it's
it's
old.
weather related.
It's just old cut.
Yes,
So my concern is we don't want to be trapped, I don't think we want to be trapped into replacing that just because it's wavy. Is structurally okay. It's just,
yes, and I think that's part of what the project management piece will be. Now, it used to be wavy on this side over the winter, and it's settled down, it's not wavy anymore. So, and maybe at the kickoff, whenever we do that work, one of you guys should be on the ground, like Ed was there the first day that Tracy was doing the painting. So we could assess and do the, talk about it.
second question.
Yeah.
Vendor C is the only one that breaks out just the townhouse, the tower.
Yes. I asked all 3 to do that. I can go back and ask them.
Does that mean they'll be willing to do that as a standalone project? Or does that cost change?
I have to go back and ask them that. I can ask all 3 to break their numbers out, and then I will ask if it changes.
Because if we say we don't have the money, we just want to do the tower.
Oh, just do the bell tower?
Just do the bell tower, how much will that cost us? The vendor C says $2,000,
Correct.
but I'm not sure that's standalone $2,000.
Okay, I'll go back and ask them that. Okay. My assumption was, you guys said all 3 do it at the same time. It is less expensive once they're there to bring the equipment rather than to come in, do the bell tower, come in later, do the schoolhouse, do the main property, so I just,
But the issue, I think the issue is cash flow.
I agree, I mean,
So if
we talked about this.
If the back 2 buildings are okay for another 5 years, I'd have a hard time arguing why we should do it now. That's,
Oh, well, I mean, I guess the argument I would make is that we just spent a whole lot of money replastering and repainting the townhouse. And if there is any possibility of a leak, that's, we just spent a lot of money to fix the problems that we have, so. I mean, I think, in the end, this is your call, of course. I just wanted to show you this. This is not any of the 3 shingles, but this is very similar, just to let you see it. This is an architectural shingle.
And now the color as well?
Yeah, mostly like a blackish color to go with that.
and the life expectancy is,
I think they have on there, it's like 10 some years. And there's a warranty, one of them has a warranty for $600 for 25 years, so, I mean, it seems like short money anyways. I'm gonna leave this here until we look at it tomorrow.
So I understand too that you're going to present this to the Heritage Commission tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yes.
And Mary Lou, is it your intent to make a recommendation at that meeting, or are you going to take some time to digest it as well? Or?
I think we'll probably need a little time because everyone's going to get the same information as, I mean, they have the sheet, the analysis sheet, but they only got it yesterday. And I think anyone who wants to read through the specs and the vendors.
And since there's more questions,
Yeah.
need to be answered.
Yeah, and I'll wait till tomorrow night, so I'll get all the questions, and then I'll go back to all the vendors. But
Okay, so-
they've all been very responsive.
So what I suggest is that we put this on the agenda for July 1st meeting? Yes.
The meeting tomorrow, they just said they're gonna need some more time to digest it. They won't be meeting for another month unless they have a special meeting, which I hope they would do.
We would do that.
We can do that. Yes.
So we'll put it on the agenda for July 1st so that we can listen to what your thoughts and recommendations are on the process.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so we have been working on a couple of grants, the Moose Plate grant, which is $10,000, that's still, and that's our yesterday's, that is still actually on the table. So Mary Lou's been talking to the guy there, he's reviewing our letter of intent. We have no other information at this point. The T-Mobile grant, that's the $50,000, we don't have to match, that we can write in September or December. We've been doing the behind-the-scenes prep work that we have to have in order to write the grant. So we met with 4 contractors to give us different options. From one of them, we have one set of designs. I did meet...
Designs for what?
For the kitchen, sorry.
Kitchen remodel.
For the kitchen remodel. And that's only if we get a grant. I met with Jeff, the code enforcement officer, who gave me feedback on some key considerations, placement of certain things that are not to code, and how we can fix that. So we have to have documented plans, design permits, materials, labor, all outlined before we can apply for the grant. And then we have a year to spend the money. So that's just a quick overview.
Who's doing that for us? The plans and whatever?
Oh, that's what we're getting from 4 different...
Well, they're gonna give us plans.
They're giving us plans, right? So we have one set of plans already, and they'll all be different. One is LaValle's, one's a traditional cabinet maker in Wolfboro. There's another one in Wolfboro, and then one is a contractor who uses cabinets.com. So we can look at, an online possibility as well.
So I don't think we ever did the plaster in the kitchen.
We did not do the plaster in the kitchen, and that's one thing that the plaster will have to come down.
Yes, because along those lines, are these plans...
They've given us good suggestions on what they can do to, once they take it down, what they can put up, and what they can do to remediate it. So we can put cupboards on those walls.
So do the plans include electrical?
They will.
They will.
They will.
We're not there yet.
The
but
plaster
yes.
comes down, there's an opportunity to rewire,
Yes, we keep having those things go off.
as long as they give us a plan that includes that, right?
Right.
Sure,
We have
no
to have,
problem.
it has to have everything.
Okay.
So, and the contractor I met with this afternoon, actually not the contractor, when I met with Jeff, he said, look, you should take it all down to the studs so that we know that the cabinets would be secure, because you can't tell from there, and then just do drywall in that particular small space. So, and the floor is also slanted, so he said, shocking, he said, level the floor and then work your way up. So, and the only thing that he said is, for any stove, it's not to code the way it is, it's got to be vented outside. But he said that's an easy thing to do. And he's willing to help us all through the process and look at our final plan to make sure we haven't missed anything before we obviously share it with you.
Okay, very good.
Okay?
And I just had a question about the hot water. We don't have hot water in the
Yes.
kitchen. Is that something?
We
Yes.
know that.
I know you
We
do. I was just wondering if
asked
that was-
asked them to plan to have a hot water whatever that, I don't know if it's a little tank, but anyways, under the kitchen.
Under the kitchen sink, and a different faucet.
Yes.
Different sink.
Okay,
Different sink.
Yes.
you guys got anything else, Mary Lou?
Yes. So, we would like, the Heritage Commission would like to appoint David Spinazzola to a 3-year term of membership on the Heritage Commission. His term will expire in 2028 and is contingent upon your approval tonight as well as the approval of the Heritage Commission at their meeting tomorrow night.
Like for an alternate or as a member?
Regular member,
Okay.
since we lost one.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Dave has worked with the Heritage Commission several times, mainly down on the Hackett site. I believe he's been to a couple meetings?
Yes, he has.
Okay, and he's shown the interest, he wants to be involved.
Yes.
So I'll make a motion that we appoint Dave Spinazzola to the Heritage Commission, subject to approval by the Heritage Commission, for a 3-year term ending in 2028.
I'll second that.
Any other discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, there you go, Mary Lou.
Thank you.
Yep, and let us know how you make out. Thank you.
Could I jump in now?
Sure.
Last year, we started to take a look at adding space to this building. Because we felt we needed more room, our file cabinets were full, we didn't have enough room to operate the town business. So we got money from the town to look at an expansion out back. And we had some preliminary design sketched up, and then we had some of the people came in and looked at it, the employees came in to look at it, other people walked in and looked at it. And the questions that we were getting were, why are we doing this when we have a schoolhouse next door that we're really not using but twice a year? And I couldn't answer that question. I mean, we use it for voting, we walk through it. We use it for barbecues, we walk through it. For the rest of the time, it sits there empty. So what I'd like to propose, or at least start the discussion about with the town and not just us, 2 things. I'd like to put the expansion on hold, take the work we have and put it into the vault, so when it's time we can use that as a foundation. But I'd like to start a discussion in town as to what we want to do with the schoolhouse. Do we want to convert it to a couple of offices? Do we want to leave it the way it is? I think we could use some help deciding what we want to do with that building. And as long as the Heritage Commission is here, I want to say this in front of you, all right, so you guys hear it. I think we should solicit input from the town as to, here are our options. We can spend money on back, maybe $250,000, maybe more, or we can use that schoolhouse somehow for some office space and save some money for the town.
So I will tell you, I would like to just say that as chairman of the Heritage Commission, I would be vehemently opposed to using the schoolhouse for office space.
I understand that.
If you think you need an office, there is an office in the townhouse that was a former office that is space that could be used. It certainly could be cleaned out more than it is now, and that could be done. My other recommendation would be that you think about, it wouldn't be as expensive as an expansion out back, but you could always consider either renting or purchasing like a portable classroom or building like that, so that you have more space, but you're not destroying the historic value of one of our important buildings that is on the National Registry of Historic Places.
And that's the type of input I want the town to give us. Now, I understand the Heritage Commission's position, but there's 700 more people out there that pay taxes, and I'd like to get their input also. That's my thing.
So I agree, and I'll say too, I agree with what Mary Lou was saying, but I also think we can do a public hearing or request a public input, however you want to frame it. It would be something not at this meeting, we would set something up on a Saturday afternoon
Sure.
Can I just,
Go ahead.
a quick question. How many spaces do you need like 2 offices, 2 desks?
Yeah, I think we need
think
more
it helps
information from
just
you
to-
as far as
Yeah.
what you're thinking
That's-
you need. You know, how many people are you talking? How much room, file space?
The plan had 4 offices or 3?
Here,
The plan.
Expansion.
Expansion.
4 to 6. We had 3 over there and then some on the left.
Yeah, but was that for future growth? I mean, the realistic,
Oh, yeah, you're not gonna put it up and say, we're out of capacity in a year, right? You're gonna allow for future growth.
So is there a way for the Board of Selectmen to come up with what you feel you need? Do you need 2 offices? Do you need, are you gonna need room for file cabinets, desks, what you need so that we can have a better idea of how much space you think you need?
Fair enough, yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
I guess my thought is, is this your thought alone? I'm guessing that Ed or Austin have not heard this. The thought is, who's moving? Who specifically would be moving? And how many offices or how many spaces would be needed over there? There's just not enough information here. I mean, there needs to be more meat on the bone here, so to speak. What I'm hearing is your thought, but I don't know that Ed or Austin have heard this yet. So
It has been kicked around. I think when we first started the expansion design concept, I think Richard pointed it out at that time, saying people are talking, saying, why don't we use the schoolhouse? It's cheaper. My thought then, and it still is now, that it's not appropriate.
I just think there needs to be a little more information. It's worth talking about. But there just needs to be more information.
The second part of that thought is, do we need the space today? No. It's tight, we're managing, we're getting through it. Is it ideal? No. But we're managing. So we're at a point now where we're saying we're going to start to split at the seams in the next year or 2. So let's start the process now. That was the concept for doing the expansions.
And I'd like to echo what Mary Lou said here, is you do have an office over there. I'm guessing that's been used for storage for I don't know how many years. The other thing is, there's artifacts over there that I have no problem, if in a discussion forthcoming, I have no problem with moving those Hackett artifacts. And if push comes to shove, if we have, the Hackett artifacts are going to have to go somewhere at some point in the future. But if they need to go if the office needs to be used, those artifacts, I'm more than willing to store them temporarily in my basement if they need to come out of there. So I'm not going to be offended or anything like that if those need to be touched or moved. I'm okay with that. But I think you have a space there. You have an office, and if you just want to kind of like one step at a time and just move one person over there to see how it goes, I think it's internet access, right? Isn't
Yes, we expanded over to this.
And I think the issue is the heat may be a problem in that office, but you have a ready-made office, and why not? I'm just saying that may be a starting point. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, I think what we need to do is pick a date then, and we'll publicize and advertise for a public input session on future needs over the town office.
Do you want to figure out what we need before you do that, though?
Yes,
That'd be good.
yes, that would be good. Yes. But I think we've accomplished enough. It's on the table, we're talking about it. We're gonna put a plan together as to what we think we need, and we did it on, so there shouldn't be a lot of surprises. I mean, I brought it up and put it out in the public.
And I have one other suggestion, which is, which is done so often now in companies, since this building isn't used 40 hours a week, if it can be considered shared space over there, let's say it rotates 3 different people who have 3 different office hours.
Some of the offices in here can't do that though, because
Oh, yeah, I
the
realize
welfare
that, but-
person needs their own space.
But if there are
Karen needs
some
her own
that work
space.
over there, that's a possibility, I would just throw that out, yeah.
I got
So
you.
that's what we're gonna do, is take a lot of input, right? We heard some tonight, we gotta put a plan together, and we'll discuss it at a group session.
Keep us posted.
So it sounds like we, though, as the selectmen, need to come up with what the needs are. What we see the needs are over the next year, 2 years, 5 years.
Okay.
Right? And then we can throw that into the mix and say, we're growing, here's what we're gonna need to do, how do we do it?
So should staff start making a wish list or a needs list or something, so you guys are aware of that?
No, we'll do it.
Yeah, because
How do you
we've
know what
already
I-
got, we've got a lot,
We'll do it.
we've got a lot of input from the staff already to come up, when we came up with that expansion plan too.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
so-
you. Thank you for letting me jump in there.
Yeah, so we'll pick a date for that meeting of the 3 of us.
Yes.
All right, you want to do that now? Pick a date now?
Not in the next 2 weeks. Unless you want to take your own minutes.
All right, well, let's chew on it then. We'll put it on the agenda for July 1st.
I will bring a sketch
Okay,
that we can talk to.
okay, perfect. One of the ones that, what's his name? did
Nope,
for us?
nope, of how we might use that. Just-
Oh, okay,
Just,
on that side.
here's how we might use it.
Okay. All right, good. All right, anything else for the Heritage?
No, thank you.
No, thanks.
Karen, you're up.
Yes, I do have the warrant for the selectmen for the dogs that haven't been licensed. There's 12 dogs and 9 owners. They've had emails, phone calls, and so these are the ones that are remaining. So I have the list and just need that signed off. And then it'll go to the animal control officer. He's back on the 24th and he'll contact the owners. I have heard from some people, there is an issue with people getting dogs in for appointments for rabies, so those people have kind of held off. They've given me their appointment dates, so in good faith, I didn't include those.
So this will go to the dog officer and he will knock on doors and say, where's your dog? Do you know that all these dogs are still alive?
Yes.
Yeah?
They were all registered last year. Any of the updates to the rabies, I get the veterinarian's offices send me the updates to rabies, so if they're,
So
kind
as
of
far as
far
you know,
out,
they are
as far
still-
as I know. And if the animal control officer finds out that the dog died, then,
Just take them.
but the issue is that the people have been contacted, and a lot of people will call and tell me the dog died, or they've moved. We've had several people move, but I've had no response from these people.
Okay. All right, so this is a warrant for unlicensed dogs. I'll make a motion that we approve this warrant and send it over to the animal control officer of the Wakefield Police Department.
Second.
All right, made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Oh, and there was one thing that I forgot. We had 2 warrants on here for, notice of intent to cut. We're only going to process one of them today. I skipped by that. This is for map 2, lot 6. And it contains 124 of hardwood and various board footage of white pine, hemlock, red pine, right down the entire list, pallet and tie logs, pulpwood, So it looks like a pretty significant intent to cut request. Take a look at it. You looking up the map a lot?
What's the map on?
Map 2, Lot 6.
Off Stone Road. Two hundred and 87 acres. And the acreage of the cut is 250.
Oh. It's the Bluebird Park.
Oh.
Susan
Los.
Los, Susan Los.
I'm surprised there's that much wooded. That's a lot of wide open space. All right, so I'll make a motion that we improve the intent to cut for map 2, lot 6.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, any other, Karen, do you have any more?
I'm sorry, I do have one more thing. I just got a response from the Tri-County Cat Mobile Unit, and they did thank the Selectmen for allowing them to use the space. They had 8 people the first day and signed up 1 person for services, and then on Wednesday they had 6 people and 2 signed up, and they felt it was a great success. So there were a lot of people who stopped just for information too. So we may consider, I'll bring it forward maybe next spring when it's time to do the energy signups and all again, maybe they'll come back again.
Yeah, I did stop in on the second day that they were there and chatted with them a little bit, and I got the same sort of feedback from them. They said they're not overwhelmed, but they didn't expect to be, and they did say if you get 1 person, they consider that a success.
And if someone wants to reach out to them now, they can contact you for a contact number?
Sure, they can contact me, and there are some things that, thank you for picking up some items, there are some things on the table over here, so that people have some cards and contact information. But you're welcome to contact me, that'd be fine.
And I want to thank you too, Karen, for coordinating that with me. That was a good effort on your part.
Glad I could do it.
All right, anybody get anything else? Oh, I'm sorry, Joanne, I didn't need to do your bypass.
Yes, I have reconciled all the bank statements, and our new, I guess, procedure will be, I attach the reconciliation to the back of the bank statements, and that's what the auditors have said that you guys could sign off on, is the reconciliation report. So we don't have to do that right now, we can do it at the end of the meeting or whatever, but anyway, they're done. Also, the expenditure report, we have added the obligated column. I don't know if you've had a chance to look at it. I still have some more tweaking to do with it, and working with the software company, but I think it's going to be beneficial. We'll get to know what kind of money we have left.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point, because in the back of our heads, we all have a feeling for it,
Yeah.
but having a feeling for it is different than seeing it in black and white.
Right, right.
And that
So
gives you a much truer
hopefully the next meeting I'll have it a little more adjusted, and then we'll put it, once we get that tweaked, I can put it on the website, or?
Sure.
Yeah,
My opinion.
yeah. Okay. And so I just have a manifest.
How about, we
What
have
else?
some,
What else?
we got some budget areas that we have to fund, yes?
Yeah.
We overexpent on the painting, we knew we would.
Yeah.
Where are we getting the money from? That's up to us to figure out.
Okay, we'll have to go through that, find it. You're saying doing it now?
Well, I mean,
Well,
Oh, I
well,
don't
the
know.
bottom line of our budget isn't overspent, so I mean, we're bottom line budget. But,
Okay.
you know, there's things coming up. I mean,
Yeah.
we're gonna be over on the paving.
Yeah.
We authorized Chris to use some of his money.
20,000?
Yeah,
We didn't put that in there yet.
I haven't. Yeah, we really should maybe have a work session and go over the
Yeah,
budget.
I agree.
With a
I
fine-tooth
don't
comb.
think now is the time.
No.
I don't think we're quite ready for that yet.
Right, but I really do think we should do a work session to make sure we're gonna have enough money. Just a thought.
Just a thought?
Just a thought.
We'll set it up.
So when do you think we'll be ready to do that? Because you're gonna update this, the data.
Yeah, we could update it, but I need some input for you.
Yes, you do.
Yeah,
Yes,
so, I'm, whenever you want to do it. But
Okay.
we should,
Because she's gonna say where we're gonna get the money from for these overruns.
and you may know of some of the expenses that I don't know about.
Yes.
You know,
And I can see, that when you look at the data, you can see that the numbers, you gotta understand some of those numbers.
yeah.
So when do you wanna do it?
Today is the 17th. You want to do it next Tuesday, June 24th?
Don't do it next Tuesday,
Not next Tuesday?
because I can't be here.
I can't either.
And that's a
Oh, that's
record,
right,
we have a
yeah.
records committee on that night.
Yeah, okay, yep,
Um,
that's correct.
Wednesday's good.
Wednesday's bad.
Wednesday's bad.
Well, let's go into, July 8th.
Works for me.
How's that look?
It's okay, it's after our first meeting already.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay?
July 8th. Is that okay?
Yep.
Austin, yeah,
Yep.
okay. So we'll call it a work session?
Budget workshop, work session, yeah.
What time you want to do?
6? 6 o'clock work?
Yep.
You good with 6?
Wait, wouldn't that be your open office hours for the
Yep.
selectmen? Because that's the second Tuesday
Oh,
of the
that's
month.
right, the second Tuesday, all right, yeah. I can't do Wednesday night. How about Monday then, the 7th?
We could do the, why does nobody ever want to do Thursdays?
Come on.
What day you want to do? 7th or, well, how your selectmen, what are their hours that they're here?
From 6 to 7.
Oh, okay.
We could do either Monday the 7th or Thursday the 10th. Either, do you have a preference?
Either's fine.
You thought?
I don't care.
Monday it is.
7th?
Monday the 7th?
Yeah,
Yep.
budget work session.
6 o'clock.
I will post that.
What is the planning board the next week?
Yes.
Okay.
So, I don't know if I'm allowed to speak, but with regards to the RFP for the roof, shouldn't you guys discuss that part before? And maybe we push from the 1st to your next meeting in July? You know what I'm saying?
Which, I know what you're saying.
We're gonna lose the year, right?
We're gonna lose the year.
So,
We know we will, I think, these guys might have a different opinion, we want at least that tower roofed. It's gonna leak, and we're gonna,
Yes.
so we gotta deal with the tower. So we can push and push, but I'd go the other way and pull it in and pull it in. Our planning, and try to get it done, because I don't know where the money's coming from.
well, yeah, but if you do the budget work session on the 7th, the next meeting is the next Tuesday.
Right. Just move
Yeah.
it from
The 1st to
the
the
1st to the, whatever that, the 12th or
15th.
15th to talk.
I didn't follow you, Jan, I'm sorry.
The next selectmen's meeting would be,
So we talked about talking about the roof on the 1st of July. I'm suggesting you guys talk budget, figure out, yeah, I understand, I hear you now on the bell tower, but you had also said you thought that the main townhouse should be done as well. But until you have a budget discussion, I think we should push the discussion on the 1st to the 15th. Is that okay?
I'm not sure what discussion you're pushing.
So you guys made an appointment
You mean on the
for,
first?
yes,
First to discuss,
roofing the townhouse.
July 1st is our regular scheduled meeting.
Yes, you
I
told me to
understand.
add it to the agenda so that you could discuss that. She's requesting that you move it to the second meeting because you'll be talking about the budget after the first, on the 7th.
Got it?
Yep.
I just think
And
that
that-
makes more
that-
sense.
But
Because
that's
we'll
still,
spend time discussing, but we haven't figured out.
Right, you
How
won't
fund it.
have any numbers in front of you to say yay or nay if you're gonna talk about it on the first.
so that means we wouldn't be making a decision until July 16th on what we're doing over there? And you think that'll work
The earliest,
at the earliest?
Earliest.
because there's gonna be, I've been here before, we're gonna have questions tomorrow night
Yes, we will.
that are gonna have to be answered, and
Yes.
you,
Well, then I can come back to you
You-
and say, okay, yes, it's 2,000, it's 11,000, it's whatever, and also the breakout of the other two, if we just did this, if we just did this. we just-
Right, you could still give numbers on the first
I can give
that they
them,
can look at on the 7th.
Right.
you lose a project a day at a time. A day at a time, that's the way you lose your dates.
And I don't disagree, you can see in that summary, they all say July
Yep.
or 30 days from contract signing. So I think if it gets pushed a month, I don't know that that's a big deal, but
If it was November, it might be.
yeah, well, we can't do November anyways, the weather's bad. Like, not good, no one's gonna do that. Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna meet the 7th, you said, is that where we're down?
Yes.
Yep.
6 o'clock.
Yep.
Okay. So that'll go on the agenda for the next meeting.
Yep.
That's someone else talking about earlier. Okay, I don't see anything else going on. Do you have anything else?
Manifest.
Go to manifest? Okay, let's go through the manifest. Just a sidebar too, Rich and I both had a chance to come down and look at those before the meeting.
Okay.
Joanne makes them available, and I think you should.
I sent you a text, but it might have been your old number, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
You might not have gotten it.
All right, but keep that in your thought process.
Yeah.
Before the meeting, there'll be a manifest up there to look at. Just come in and just kind of
Look
nose
at it.
around it, look at it, understand it, so that when we go through it here, it'll all make sense. You're not
Yeah.
surprised or anything. That's all.
Okay, you ready, Rich?
I think so.
Avatar, this was for the tax bills, 18201. Carroll County Registry of Deeds, 3101. Charter Communications, 9998. Animal Population Control Program fees, $526.25. You know what that is? right?
It's I do
Okay,
now,
okay.
we chatted, I do now.
Okay, you're all clear on
If they-
that?
Yeah, I had to ask the same
Awesome.
questions.
Karen has to actually pay for the licenses with this date?
No, they get a cut,
Oh,
they get a cut.
So all the dogs
No,
that-
you said it wrong. We're the ones that get a cut.
Yeah,
The state gets all the
Yeah,
money.
yeah.
So even though Karen registers the dogs, we have to pay for the state?
We register.
It's
the
like your
state
car.
gets the
Yeah.
money.
Yep.
Yeah,
Just a dog.
right. Okay, Ed Gothier purchased the extension cord and the cord protectors for $29.86. Karen Savasic for postage, $25.24. Leah Gage for travel to her conference, $67.20. Mitchell Municipal Group, $50. Newfound Title Services for title search, $222. State of New Hampshire Vital Records, $34. Town of Wakefield, $148,783.64. White Mountain Oil Propane, they cleaned and vacuumed the furnace, $254.05, and another one for $190, which was to
The hot water tank.
hot water tank. Did you get those, Jan?
Yeah.
Yep, okay. That's all for that manifest, and you can read the total maybe.
$150,495.24. I'll make a motion that we approve the manifest as read.
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We have a really big payment coming up in July for Governor Wentworth. It's 320-something thousand. Just making that aware that next month will be, okay, I also have another manifest when I was working on my purchase orders. Okay, Kinville Construction, 3,400, and Kinville Construction, 4,650.
Any more?
Yeah, payroll.
Manifest?
Yeah, payroll manifest. The payroll taxes was
Wait, so
1,000.
how much did the last two
Oh.
to Chris?
Chris,
Total.
$8,050. Eight, is that what it is? Like 8.
Yes.
I know,
Yes.
well, I'm stretching. 8,050. Okay. Payroll taxes were $1,350.66, and the payroll was $4,423.54.
Okay, so I'll make a motion that we pay all three invoices.
Manifest.
Manifest,
Yep,
all three manifests.
yep.
I will second.
This one's signed.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Are they all signed?
Motion carries.
That one's
Now this
signed.
one is,
That one's signed. That one's partially signed.
Can you give me the payroll taxes one more time?
yeah, payroll taxes.
That one is partially signed.
Eventually.
That one's partial.
That's
I
your
signed
check.
all these?
Oh, you did?
I think I got them all. That was my job.
So, Ed has the payroll to sign and Austin has all the checks to sign.
And that other one is already signed, all three?
Yes. Payroll taxes, $1,350.66.
Thank you.
Oh, I have something else in here for you, adjourn. I had an action, another action item. And I'll wait till they're done. You ready? I'll let them keep going. Those slides.
Speaking of what, I assume it was the payroll.
Okay, one for Leah.
Leah, that's for you.
Wait for Austin when he's done. Okay.
Yeah.
You all set, Austin? Yep. At last meeting, we talked a little bit about getting a computer support person to help us with a number of things, keeping the website up to date, helping train people to come on board with how to use our systems. Volunteers to put together a job description so that we can post something on the web, see if we have any interest in anyone trying to do this part-time job. And that's what I've created there, a job description for a computer support specialist. You guys agree? We'll post and see if we can get somebody interested in that. And this person, if he or she does come forward, should be on the committee.
That's right, exactly.
We need to add that to our funding list, our funding list.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I think this is reasonable. I think you covered all the bases. I'll make a motion that we approve this, what are we calling this?
Job posting.
Job posting for a computer support specialist.
I will second.
Any other discussion?
Well, yes, we're going to put it on the website, and we want the responses back through you, Leah, by when? Early in July,
Yeah.
right? What fits in with your schedule?
Do you want me to post it to NHMA too?
Sure.
So let's go, we'll say for the second meeting in July, which would be the 14th.
It's gonna be a long one, we keep adding stuff to it.
Well, I mean, you gotta put the posting up for at least a couple of weeks anyway.
Oh, yeah, we'll give her a chance to look at it when she gets organized there. Good. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, we've got other documents to sign and approve.
Are you guys gonna take this home and look at it?
Yes.
Let me point some things out to you, because I've studied it. The number you have to use is the committed number. 82% of our budget is committed. Committed. So
Not according to the, that's what this is. It hasn't been filled out yet.
it's gonna go up. It will go, the committed number will get larger than the obligated number.
Right.
So if you take, what I did was, you take the committed number, what's available, right? Available is 317. Divided by our budget. Says we've committed 82% of our budget, and it's not July 1st yet. 82% of our budget is committed. And Joanne's going to continue to fill this in with other commitments we have. That's why I seem to be a little concerned about the budget. We're at 82.
I agree with what you're saying, but if you think about what the commitments are, it doesn't mean money you expended. It's money you've committed. So you could, theoretically, the committed number should be 100%.
No.
All year long.
No.
In a perfect world, Rich. I mean, that's not a practical.
Well, for example, we don't have the paving in. We don't have the rest of our salaries in.
Correct.
We're not going to pay salaries. You're going to pay salaries. You're going to pay paving. We got $2,000 next door. We've got some roofing coming at us. So I think we have a lot of money that's been committed. I think we're at 82, at least at 82% committed for the year.
That's okay.
It
But
just
that's
doesn't
different,
leave a
that's
lot of-
different than expended.
It
That's
doesn't-
my point. That's a different number than expended.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it just doesn't leave a lot of wiggle room, and we need to know, like, unexpected things that come up, what we have to
Right.
use.
Which is why I think it was a good idea to add that column in
Yeah.
for committed. The
Yeah.
thing is now we've got to fill that column in.
Right.
Right, for example, salaries, but you know the elected officials are getting 16.5, right? So you could put that number in.
Exactly, it's the hourly people that
Right.
we don't know.
Right.
Well, that's exactly my point. That's exactly my point. What's been spent is 34%.
Correct.
What's committed is 82%.
Mhm.
So we're not running it at 34, we're running it at 82, unless we're not gonna pay people.
No, I agree.
So-
But 82 at this point doesn't necessarily scare me,
Okay.
right? I just need to understand better what that 82 is and what the 18% that's not committed, what that is. You know, how much risk
I
do we
think
have in that
We kind of,
uncommitted?
we stuck our neck out a little bit by, you know, giving Chris 20,000 more to do the paving. And we really didn't know what else was coming down the road with the heritage, with the roof and things like that. I mean, and what else is coming,
Right,
you know?
those are
so-
the things that we need to work out
Yes,
at
yeah, at our work session,
work
right.
session. Yep. But your point's well taken. I mean, 82 is a high number, and we're only halfway through the year,
Yeah,
right? But again,
yeah.
in theory, it should be 100% from day 1 to day
True. I mean,
365.
that's why we have a budget, right? We budget.
So when you look at that, that's my perspective.
Yep. Okay, here's the rest of the documents we have to sign. Ed, you got a question?
I sent over a document to the board about a week ago about the 7 major deficiencies found by the auditors. And I was wondering if we were going to talk about it publicly. Were we going to come up with some type of a solution to those 7 deficiencies? And did you read the document?
I did read it, but not in detail. I haven't studied it. So that it's something that I think we should be talking about in public. There's no reason why we can't.
No, it should
Because it's somewhat connected with your discussion right now. And if a solution's found to all of them, the next audit should be perfect.
Okay.
I'll say it again, I don't think I've seen it.
Oh, good.
What, the audit stuff?
No, his
Oh.
His
Oh,
analysis.
what you sent.
Your forwarded email is not working.
Oh, no, Rich's is a problem. Or is it the selectmen's
I sent
email?
it.
Again, I don't think I got anything from you.
I got it.
Seriously, not this time.
Yeah, and I
It's
think
not
it was-
buried.
I believe it was sent to Select.
I always get yours bounced back, but I know what's wrong. It's the, and I don't know how to fix it. I can show you, maybe we can. But yours always bounces back.
On a reply or on?
Just if I send them individually.
I send stuff to you. too.
The alias is bad. They've got a group alias, I think, and the alias has to be
It's bad,
managed.
yeah.
But that's what the IT specialist would take care of, the alias,
Right.
if people don't know how to fix that.
I suppose I'm also suggesting lightly that when you have an audit, and if it's good or bad, the public should hear.
Oh, absolutely.
First, if I didn't analyze this through AI, I wouldn't have understood that audit. I mean, I could read it, but I don't understand every nuance of everything they found and what risks are and what, you know, I mean, but after
I
it
didn't
was
see it.
analyzed, it was just.
Can
it
you
was
send that to
stunning.
me?
Sure, I can send it to, I can send it
Can you
to
please resend it to
Please,
them?
please, you give my email, would you send it to me?
Sure.
In treasurer at Brookfield.
But that also leads me to another question, that if the auditor, we pay for an auditor, they give us an audit report, if nobody reads it, but then people read it and they don't understand it, that's another problem. I mean, the auditor, did the auditor come in to present this audit? Usually she does that. Or
They did not. They did not. They would if we asked them to.
Because usually they do, and that's when you can sit down and go through this analysis and ask them, you know, what's their recommendations. I mean, the recommendations are in the document that I have, but we pay these people to do this. I just hate when things are produced by us, it gets put on a shelf and nobody ever looks at it again. And this is important stuff because we're already, you know, obviously seeing an issue with finances and processes that may need to be reevaluated. So I will send this out again and I would read it. And I would just encourage the board to get the auditor here. I don't think it's going to cost us any more to have the auditor come.
They would come.
And you should read this first and have them come and say, you know, what do you recommend that we do? So they're kind of serious.
Did you get the initial email that he had sent?
I have to look. Very well, good.
It's from,
Yeah, what does it show that comes from you? Or, you know, what's the?
GovernmentOversite.com or protonmail.com.
All right, so we have additional documents to sign here. We got the authorized. This is the Wakefield Police Department.
Yeah, I'm on trips.
This is the building, the townhouse, and the chairs. Two documents here.
I mean, I have,
Here we are.
I do.
No, I didn't
This
see
is
that.
a warrant for unlicensed postage.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I would've seen it.
And that's the unlicensed dogs.
Planning board has done this.
There's intent to cut.
Get that tomorrow and take it. Okay, yeah, okay.
Unlicensed dogs.
Good night.
So your opinion on this, and this is all she put on here is adopted by the board, so I signed and dated.
That's
Is
fine,
that
I think that's fine.
Okay. This is,
Now,
I did not get that email.
this is not, no, we don't get it.
that's the intent to cut.
There's something wrong, we're not getting the emails, it comes up a couple of times. And how do you know you're not getting it when you don't get it?
Yeah, right, you don't.
Rich, I did look at the group I made for planning board emails to see if I accidentally left you off or something. No, you're there, you should be.
So do you hear what she says, the alias has got a flaw in it?
Yeah. I don't know why though.
She thinks she has an
I
idea.
copy and paste. It shouldn't change the nature of your email address. Yeah. So I don't know, but we'll figure it out.
This is the minutes from 6/3. Minutes from 6/3.
Do you guys want to look at the bank statements at the work session? I mean, or do you want to do it now?
I like when you put the folder in the selectmen's box,
Okay.
you did all the invoices.
Yes, you like
I
that?
thought that was very neat, we come in our leisure and go right through them.
Yeah, I do too. Okay, so let me just tell, I'll do that. So let me just tell you that the reconciliation report is in the back of the bank statement. Okay? So
So
that's
what
what you need to approve.
So what are we supposed to look at? Thank you, teach us.
Yes. So it's the bank reconciliation report. You want to make sure that there's zeros there, that it balanced. Tells you what's outstanding. So you just have to initial this on each bank statement, at the back of each bank statement. You guys okay with that?
No, I don't understand.
Okay.
How do we know?
Yeah.
You gotta help
Okay,
me.
all
How do we know
Yeah.
that that computer printed in the back?
Mhm. Well, you have the bank statement figures, and then you have the general ledger, and they have to match, just like you balance your checkbook and all.
So,
So what are you asking now? So you could take the bank statement, and you would see the ending balance, you would want to...
oh, so you want, so.
All you have to do...
No.
Okay, all right.
The job is to make sure these numbers are on this document and they balance.
Mhm.
Not just look at this document.
You can look at the whole thing if you want to. The auditors only ask that you sign off on the reconciliation.
And my point is,
Yeah.
if we want to be tricky,
Mhm.
we could put these numbers together with a different front page.
Probably.
And so we sign off on the whatever you
Yeah.
call this,
Reconciliation. Yeah,
but it may not reflect the bank statement.
right.
So
Well, it would, but, I mean, it does, but yes.
Doesn't have to.
No.
If you were corrupt,
Yes, if I was corrupt, it
you could make this work, so we have to make sure by looking at the bank statement is reflected
Yeah,
here
yeah.
and it balances.
Yeah, sure.
And by signing off on reconciliation, you're saying we agree that the bank statement
Yeah.
agrees with the reconciliation.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Bank statement agrees.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
the bank statement.
So when you get to the investment account, because there's, the Heritage is invested there, the Conservation's invested, and then we have our big tax money in there. So you'll see that there are like 3 pages to that, because one's Conservation, one's Heritage, and one's our regular account. So anyway.
So we're
look at-
gonna try to do it, you'll be around
Yeah.
if we are
If you have
confused.
questions,
When I'm
just,
confused,
yeah, I'll put them in the selectmen's box and you guys can look at it
when I'm
whenever.
confused, I'll find you.
Yeah, I know. Okay. All right,
All right, so
put them in your,
we've got everything signed off.
you don't have to keep going.
I have to.
Okay, any other questions or concerns? You good? Joanne, you got any issues?
I don't, no.
Okay, meeting adjourned.
7:43.
I do have one comment.
Oh, there we
Is
go.
it on?
So glad I
Is it
didn't.
on?
Oh, no, you're talking to the board, it's open.
It's a comment.
You could make a comment.
No, because I
You
don't,
can come into the world.
I don't want it on to everybody.
Yeah, but that's what a public meeting is.
It's so,
If you have something to say about it, you should go into non-public.
Yeah.
Is it
That's good. This is the,
That's public.
oh.
You
this
should
is-
say it.
I mean, it's
You're
a-
an elected official.
Yeah,
Use your
it's-
power and authority.
Yes, I know, Peter. These are the approval of the form. I did the same thing. That's approval of the form when we approve the form.
So we're gonna change the form, get that off?
Not feeling intimidated, I'll back you up.
Okay, so. These are all yours.
Okay. Okay,
I'm just thinking I didn't have enough paper.
okay.
You done?
We're done, okay.
It's coming home with me.
You better be done. You better be done.
Okay.
That's the Heritage